Hi there, welcome to the 365 Challenge, 365 guitar lessons in 365 days. This is lesson 352. It's nearly over. What I'm going to talk about in this video and in the next few lessons as well is going to be visualizing chord shapes while playing lead guitar so that you can play in a more harmonious and melodic way. So we're going to start this off really simply by talking about a blues in E. Now this doesn't necessarily apply only to blues, not at all. It applies to every sort of music. But just in this first example we're going to do some blues, and then in later examples we'll move on to other types of music. So what we're going to do first of all is think, we're playing blues in E, you know, that's the kind of thing. The full 12 bars, and the chords in that are E, A and B. They're quite often played as sevenths, so E7, A7 and B7. They are almost as often played as ninths. Is that true? Almost as often? That might be, no, that's probably not true. Sometimes they're played as ninths, so you can have an E9 and an A9 and a B9. So we've got a few notes to think about there, but we're going to do this in shapes. We're not going to start banging on about intervals and theory and all that stuff. We're going to visualise our shapes, okay? So when you're playing with your standard pentatonic minor scale, you're already visualising one shape, which is this scale shape. And if you add the blues note here and here, then it's still the same shape really, just with a couple of add-ons. So we can do all the stuff we do, you know, improvising. But what we're going to try and do is focus in on each particular chord that's happening as it's happening. So quite often, not always, but quite often in a 12-bar blues, you'd have 4 whole bars of the root chord before we get to a chord change. Not always, but quite often. So what I like to do is think about my E-shaped bar chord on the 12th fret, which is of course an E chord anyway. Think about the notes that are inside there. We're not actually going to talk about the notes as in A, B, C and intervals and stuff. We're just going to talk about the notes within the shape there. So there's 6 notes in that chord shape. 5 of them are in the scale anyway. So on the 1st string, 2nd string, not the 3rd string, but 4th string, 5th string and 6th string. So we've got 5 notes in the chord that are in the scale already, and the only extra one we've got here is that 13th fret of the 3rd string. That is in the chord, but it's not in the scale. That one is instead. So quite often what we do when we're playing blues lead guitar is we go from the one that's in the scale and we bend or slide or hammer to the one that's in the chord, because we want it to be in tune with what's going on with the chord, of course. So we can have a sort of a this kind of thing. There it is. Okay, so I'm just going to record a quick loop and then we can see what we can do just with that one chord. So, as you can hear, we've got the blues riff in E, just repeating over and over and over again. We're not doing any other chords just yet. So I've got my scale. Got my blues scale. I'm going to visualise my E chord. I want to choose the notes that are in the chord as the best notes to sustain. I can play any note in the scale, but when I sustain a note, I want it to be one of those. Alright, so that was just an E chord. We'll expand upon that just a little bit in the next lesson.